Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Malamed, Shlita. We find ourselves midweek and we continue our learning the laws of Birchat Kohanim. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzva Agana Yisrael, Refuah Shlema L'chol Petzuei Yisrael, safe return of all of our hostages, and we dedicate our learning L'ilui Nishmas, Seren Daniel Shemin Ben Arav Doron V'Shalei Hashem Yikum Damo. And for us here in the United States, particularly those of us in the East Coast, more particularly those in the tri-state area, wonderful news to celebrate this morning. If you follow politics at all, this is not a politics format, but it's important that we were able to actively unseat a member of the squad, a very anti-Israel member of Congress, who will be replaced by George Latimer in this 16th District of New York. Thank you to everyone who was very much involved in that process, as we were, and we still have much, much more to do, but the system works, and we, Baruch Hashem, now have a Sonei Yisrael who is no longer going to be tormenting us within the halls of Congress. Very worthy of note, and a special day for that. So kol hakavod to everyone that was involved. But we continue with our learning. Chovas chalitzas hana'alayim lefnei habracha. Achas mitesha takana shetikon Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. One of the 9 institutions that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, they're called takanos, but some sort of acts that he made or decrees. Nogas l'din nisiyas kapayim. So one of those 9 applies to Duchening. Takanosi hi sha'konim lo yalu duchen l'seises kapayim she'leragleihem sandalim ona alayim. So one of his takanos was that the kohanim should not go up to the duchen, to the platform, to give the blessing and raise their hands when they were wearing sandals or shoes. One of the reasons for this institution, for instituting this decree, was because what's called kavod hatzibur. Because let's say the streets weren't paved like we have today, and they had to walk through some mud or some schmutz of some sort. It's not nice if they're standing up there and the shoes are dirty. And in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, when the Kohanim would do their service, they didn't wear shoes because of the sanctity of the place. There was a high level of Kedusha there. Which, of course, whenever we have Kedusha, going all the way back to when Moshe met, quote-unquote, met HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the first time at Har Sinai, Shalna alecha mi'al raglecha, to take your shoes off your feet. That's how we treat holy places. V'hanimu kalachti, and we go down to this in the halachic point, shechashu shem yu sruchim lena'alayim, alulam asruchim lehipaseach. So let's say they have some sort of ties or laces or some fasteners, and if they become open, v'ti beze'ini imus, ho'al v'akorin omen al duchen shumakam gavo v'chol amorim aso. And if they're untied or if they don't look right, then it's going to not look right because he's standing on an elevated platform and everyone can see this. So if he's embarrassed, if your shoes are untied, and we know this, if you're walking somewhere and your shoes are untied, your first instinct is to bend over and to fix it and to tie it. So if a person is on the duchen and he's about to give the blessing and he bends down to tie his shoe and he's not standing upright like the other Kohanim, what are people going to think? Oh, he's not a Kohen. That's why he's bending down, because he really cannot raise his hands. He's not actually a Kohen. Now, I understand this seems like what we would call a vaitika chashash, but back in the times of post-Beis HaMikdash, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, they felt it was a real concern, and often we institute things based on far-fetched concerns. So according to this reason and the aforementioned reasons, Kohen should not go up wearing shoes or sandals that we would wear in the street, or even something you would wear only at home if it has laces. And let's say you have leather shoes without laces, and you would wear them only in the house and not in the street, so there's no worry about getting them dirty. Nevertheless, we don't go up to duchen with them, because anything of leather that was also included in the takana of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. But technically, let's say, imagine someone had slippers, non-leather slippers, and you wanted to wear those to duchen, that technically would be permitted. But makom she'en regilim lavo b'fnei anashim mechubadam yechafim o b'sandalim below garbayim, roi she'akonim ya'alulu duchenim garbayim l'ragleihem. So Mishnah Berurah writes that in a place where you wouldn't walk barefoot or sockless in shoes or sandals in front of someone who's mechubad, if you just wouldn't go that, let's say you had an important meeting, you wouldn't go barefoot. So therefore, the Kohanim should wear socks, and that's the custom of the place. But if a place where it's not considered an insult to go barefoot, then the Kohanim can indeed go up barefoot. Interesting questions that come up. Something that we don't necessarily have to deal with here in Chutz La'aretz, at least the second part of the question. But let's say a Kohen who is disabled and is unable to take off his shoe for whatever reason. Or let's say a Kohen is in the army, he's serving the Israeli army, and he doesn't have time to take off his army boots. So some say that in this case of need, a time of need, there are some poskim that are lenient. They say the Kohen can duchen, but he should stand on the ground of the shul and he shouldn't go up to the duchen. That's if there is an upper level. Because some say that this takana was only they shouldn't elevate themselves to the duchen, to the platform with shoes, because it's elevated, it's higher. And therefore they're more visible, the shoes or the broken shoes or the lack of shoes, that lack of socks, things like that. And therefore they shouldn't go up. And it's considered a negative connotation. But if he's standing on the same level as the synagogue, as the rest of the congregants, then there is no prohibition in wearing shoes. Again, we're talking b'shas hadchak. So in a time of need, not in a regular circumstance, in a time of need, we rely on these poskim. But the provision is at least make sure that the shoes are clean. As long as the shoes are clean and are on the same level, then we should do it. He quotes a number of poskim here from the Igros Moshe, Tzitz Eliezer, and others, and from Rabbi Avad Yosef Zatzal, and worthy of looking into. But just a couple of notes. So first of all, in America, when we duchen only on Yontif, and the way most shuls are configured, and it's overgeneralization, but let's say our shul. Our shul, there are 3 steps which the Kohanim have to elevate and go up, and that's where they duchen. Many shuls in Israel, they don't have an elevated platform. They just do it on the floor, so maybe this is a different concern. But if someone is in the army, again, we don't have that concern. Or if someone is unable to take off his shoe for whatever reason, then perhaps we can rely on these lenient poskim. And this is the way we carry it. And by and large, the custom here is that Kohanim do not wear any sort of footwear. They wear only socks. They do not go barefoot. They wear socks. And they take off their shoes and they duchen. Again, since it's so rare for us, only a handful of times during the year, but that's the practice that we follow. In any event, we thank everyone for listening today. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvagnei Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzuei Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, dedicating our Lord and Lately Nishmat, Sarah and Daniel Shemin, Rav Dram V'Shalei Hashem Yikum Damo. Please enjoy today and every day. See you here tomorrow. Thanks.